Oh, yeah, folks. It is Thursday. That means a brand new thing we're doing called Last Call. Suck it up, Buttercup. It's going to get real in here. You ain't got to stay here, but you can't stay here, but you ain't got to go home. I don't know how it goes.
I thought I was on the wrong show for a minute. When the intro came on, I looked up there. I'm like, what?
What? Steve was like, damn, we're fixing to get drunk.
Yeah, I was
like, you ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. That's what I was trying to say. Last call, folks. We're going to get very real in the free-for-all sessions that we have on Thursdays. It's going to get wild. So let me just go ahead and give you a parental guidance warning. I am not responsible for what comes out of my mouth. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel, exactly what I'm thinking. I'm going to get off the rails if that's what we need to do, but I am not going to. You know what's pissing me off? First things first, Lisa Page made me do it. Let me tell you what's pissing me off is these black people who are blaming white people for being white. Now, you say, well, that's nothing new, Chad. Mm-hmm. But see, now they're starting to prove themselves because Black Lives Matter is now coming at these white folks on the left. They devour them because they're all these white folks out there. You go to the BLM rallies, you go to the BLM parades, and I've been there by default because they come marching up the street at different things that I've been a part of. They come out there and do their protests, and out of 150 people, you'll have 2 black guys.
Yep.
The rest of them are white people who want to be these self-flagellating, self-imposed, guilty white folks who want to prove their social sense of justice, and like they want to be so damn woke that they want to just prove that they are just really compassionate people. And guess what's happening now? Black Lives Matter, there's plenty of video out there where now they're coming to these white liberals and saying, you're the problem.
Uh-huh. Hate to say we told you so.
I backed that movement. I'm like, go for it. Get after them.
At least it's consistent, right?
Yeah.
At least it's consistent. They're starting to prove the true colors because it's not about Black Lives Matter. It's the only lives that matter are black in their mind, right?
Yeah.
And so you say, well, we voted in Joe Biden, right? I mean, aren't they the office of the president-elect? I mean, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, she's a person of color. No, what you're going to find out in the New World Order is that you will be identified as white no matter who you are or where you came from.
And who you stand for.
That's right. So you might be an Italian-American. You might be a Mexican-American. You might be a Candice, Queen of the Ethiopians American. It doesn't matter. You're like, I'm a person of color. Mm-hmm. My last name is Gonzalez. And they're like, nope, sorry, to us, you're white. Mm-hmm. Because we're creating reality. So if we're creating, an office that doesn't exist, like president-elect, which doesn't exist. So we live in a world where shit gets made up. So that becomes the reality, right?
Yep.
So now, if we identify you as white, you're guilty of being white.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't matter. So that's the whole deal. In a Marxist regime, it doesn't matter who got elected.
Yep.
Doesn't matter because in Marxism, the dictator rises to the top.
Mm-hmm.
So BLM is a Marxist organization, and they're coming after everybody, and it cracks my ass up because they devour their own.
Mm-hmm.
Go get them.
It's a circular firing squad.
And isn't it funny how the people, I know specific people that voted for Biden because they wanted to be all woke about wanting to be on everybody's side, everybody's friend, standing for BLM.
Yep.
And now they're getting turned on and they're silent.
And not only that, guess who else is turning on one another? The progressive left with the moderate left.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they don't want Nancy Pelosi to be Speaker of the House anymore.
Yes.
So there's this major move for her to be ousted, and they want to put in somebody like AOC because
I wish they would. Please.
Dear God in heaven, be careful what you wish
yes,
for.
Steve, don't jinx us, please.
No, I mean, it's comedy. It's like we get to wake up and look at
yeah,
comedy.
But no, because that's a play we don't want. You can say what you want to say about Nancy Pelosi. You can say whatever you want about Nancy Pelosi that she can't say herself. But she's no AOC. Yeah. And let me tell you, that girl, and you notice AOC recently just said the other day that she may just come out of politics altogether because it's so dirty.
Please do. Please.
Well, okay, so she can go make $20 million a year in the news media.
Yep.
Being a contributor or some nonsense. They'll snap her right up.
Uh-huh.
And you can't blame her for that. She can make $174,000 a year. She can go make $20 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think she's going to do? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
CNN correspondent.
I got to go into Congress, but I'm just the wrong color.
Unfortunately, you're too white.
I am the wrong side of things.
You're not going to be able to get a job because of your whiteness.
That's okay. I'm going to run for governor, and we'll just do the same thing.
It's fine. President 2020.
Oh, by the way, I'm governor-elect, by the way.
Oh, sorry. That's right.
You don't have to see ballots.
No.
No ballots are necessary. I am governor-elect of Texas, okay?
I'm going to start in my head thinking that you are really the governor.
I know.
You really are.
I am the governor. Look,
I'm going to start referring to you as
22.
governor. Governor Prather?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm used to it.
It's fine.
I'll get used to it.
Can I have your autograph after the show?
I'm going to just call you GP for short.
Okay. Hey, life's about habits. I'm in the habit of calling myself governor. This year, we've been more focused than ever on the health of ourselves and those we love. And when things kind of settle down, what happens after that? How do you plan to ensure that your body's immune system is ready for winter and beyond? Because let's face it, we're heading into flu season. If that still exists, I don't know. I recommend that you take Field of Greens by Brickhouse Nutrition every single day. I do it. It's loaded with antioxidants, and Field of Greens is packed with 18 clinically researched essential fruits and vegetables. Plus, it's got green tea. It's got ginger, turmeric, and beets. This powerful combination not only can support heart health, it can support a healthy immune system, metabolism, blood pressure, and digestion. It's complete with pre- and probiotics. Field of Greens is not only just good for you, it's good for the entire family, even your athletes and the children living in your home. Just put a scoop in a glass of water, stir it up, drink it, you're done. Go to brickhousechad.com. Get 15% off your order with the promo code CHAD. I spell it Chad at checkout. It's available in multiple flavors. Go to brickhousechad.com, brickhousechad.com, promo code CHAD. We'll be right back. Wake up, everybody.
Wakey, wakey.
Wake up, everybody. The end is nigh. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, what does nigh mean? It's near. It's upon us.
It's close.
Hit us, asteroid.
It's happening right now.
Dear President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, I hold in my hand on Black Lives Matter letterhead a letter that is dated November 7th, 2020. The Honorable Joseph Biden and Honorable Kamala Harris. Here's what they said. Congratulations on your election to the presidency and vice presidency of the United States. Like so many, we're relieved that the Trump era in government is coming to a close. But is it? As we celebrate his electoral demise, we also know that his political exit does not ensure an end to the intolerable conditions faced by black people in America. A well-thought-out, community-driven, fully resourced agenda that addresses the particular challenges faced by the black people must be a top priority. We're requesting a meeting with you both to discuss the expectations that we have for your administration and the commitments that must be made to black people.
I can't with this group.
Here we go. Without the resounding support of black people, we would be saddled with a very different electoral outcome. In short, black people won this election. Alongside black-led organizations around the nation, Black Lives Matter invested heavily in this election. Vote and organize became our motto, and electoral justice efforts reached more than 60 million voters. We want something for our vote. Holy shit.
And it's begun.
Holy
Here we go. Let's go.
Boy, Joe, you done opened it up, son. You better be. Jesus knew what he was talking about when he said, don't be unequally yoked.
Yep.
I'm telling you, man. You want to tie up to the wrong group. I'm telling you, this is one of them right here. Mm-hmm. You in trouble. I don't care what color skin you possess. I don't care.
I think I might join BLM if we're going to do some of this.
Well, you could be Rachel Dolezal. You can go out there and be a black dude.
Yeah,
you better cut that hair. You better get it Sean White tight. Or whatever, not Sean White, Sean King type. Sean White's redheaded.
I got street cred, a little hood cred.
Just because you ate at a Dixie House diner this morning and we were the only two white people in there, we look like the only teeth in a meth head's mouth. Just because we were the only two white people in there and you held a door for a black dude doesn't mean you're part of the community.
I thought I was. He said good morning.
You're not.
I said good morning. That's real America.
Yeah.
It's like this bullshit you see on TV and stuff like that.
They don't show you that.
Yeah, believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to be heard is what BLM says, and our agenda to be prioritized. We issue these expectations, not just because black people, and by the way, they capitalize black every time they say it in this letter.
I capitalize Steve when I say it.
Well, your name isn't White.
Oh.
That's your name. It's a proper noun.
Oh.
Black is not. Just because black people are the most consistent, reliable voters for Democrats, but also because black people are truly living in a crisis in a nation that was built on our subjugation. Up until this point, the United States has refused to directly reckon with the way that it devalues capital black people and devastates our lives. This cannot continue. Capital black people cannot neither afford to live through the vitriol of a Trump-like presidency nor through the indifference of a Democrat-controlled government that refuses to wrestle with its most egregious and damnable shame. President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris, both of you discussed addressing systemic racism as central to your election campaigns. Both of you also expressed regrets regarding your record on issues impacting black people. Well, the best way to ensure that you remedy past missteps and work towards a more just future for black people, and by extension all people, is to take your direction from black grassroots organizers that have been engaged in this work for decades with a legacy that spans back to the first arrival of enslaved Africans. We look forward to meeting with you at your convenience to begin the immediate work of black liberation. We would like to be actively engaged in your transition team's planning and policy work. Again, congratulations on your win. Let's get to work. Most sincerely, Patrice Cullors on behalf of Black Lives Matter Global Network.
Sounds like they're directly against the lowest black unemployment in history.
Well, the Trump era has met its demise.
So back to living.
Let me tell you what I feel about it right
and
here.
expecting the government to provide everything for you.
Yeah. We're all
Hear that?
equal.
That's what, and that is not me slighting the black community. That's me slighting the threats that come from people who want to say, you either do it our way or we're going to get you. Kiss my ass. That's been my theme for the last week. Kiss my ass. You don't dictate to me. This is not a nation that dictates.
Yeah.
You say, well, they did that in the age of slavery. Well, let me tell you something. The United States didn't start in 1619. According to what the revisionist historians want to tell you, when the first slaves supposedly stepped foot on America, and by the way, was owned by a black man, along with other 3,500 other slaves that were owned by the same black man. First slave owner in the colonies, and it was founded in 1776 on the premises that all men were created equal. Now, yeah, we got our sins and our scars, but we've made up for that. We've worked towards that. And I've been over this many, many times on many, many shows. I'm not going to rehearse it again. We've done a lot of stuff for the black community. Donald Trump did a lot of stuff for the black community. Donald Trump's support in the black community doubled in this election. It doubled. But yet you want to talk about somebody that passed the 94 crime bill. How many black men are still in jail because, and in the next segment, I'm going to remind you guys who Kamala Harris really is. Because she's not a black woman. She's not a black woman. People say, well, her dad's from Jamaica. People in Jamaica will tell you they're not African American.
Yeah.
They're not African American. So by your definition of American black, they're Jamaican. They're not American. They're not African. They're Jamaican. Period.
Yaman.
Jaman. So this idea that you could just control people because basically we won this election for you. I don't care about your skin color. I don't like your rhetoric. It's your rhetoric that I've got an issue with, and it's your rhetoric and your philosophies that I've had a problem with this entire time. It is founded by 3 women that are Marxist. They are avowed Marxists. They claim to be trained professional Marxists, which ought to tell you everything. You start allowing Marxists into the Oval Office, you're already allowing this progressive voice of democratic socialism is in your ear, Joe Biden. So if by some chance you do become the actual president-elect or the president of the United States, we'll see what happens with all of that. But you start allowing socialists in your ear and Marxists in your other ear, and we're all screwed. Because let's face it, Joe Biden doesn't have a backbone. He has no backbone. He's already proven he would do anything it took in order to get elected. Guaranteeing that he was going to have a running mate that was a female of color. Forget her qualifications. Forget what she knew. Forget anything else other than her color of her skin and what was between her legs, what her chromosomes were. That is absolutely asinine and insane. It's stupid. But that's where we're living, where we just create a reality based around things that we think that matter. Let me tell you something, guys. Your skin color doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No one gives a shit what your skin color is. No one does. But when you act like a dumbass, I'm going to treat you like a dumbass. And I don't care if you're white, black, yellow, red. I don't care if you're gay, straight, fat, skinny, single, married, female, male, trans, him, her, jim, she, they, binary, two-spirit, misgendered, overgendered, transgendered, freaky gendered. I don't care if you're wearing panties underneath your Levi's, fellas. I don't give a shit who you sleep with. If you're an asshole, I'm going to treat you like an asshole.
There's no color to asshole.
Every asshole looks the same.
I'm glad we got that cleared up. Do you miss
Nobody
anybody?
has ever said, I wonder what color that asshole is. That's the deal. Nobody cares what your skin color is.
I know. Stop shoving it down our throats.
Shit. I'm so tired of it.
I know.
Let me tell you something. Genetically speaking, in your DNA, your skin tone makes up 0.00016 of your genetic makeup. That's your melanin. God created you based on where your people came from to function in that environment, okay? If you were close to the equator, guess what? You got darker skin. And you probably have brown eyes. You know why? Because it protected you. If you lived up in the Arctic Circle, you're probably
white as snow.
Lisa
if you
Page.
live in Russia or Europe, you're probably white. You know why? Because everybody got together and they screwed each other and they had babies that were the same freaking color as mom and dad. They didn't have any choice in that. They didn't have any choice whatsoever in that. They just happened to be born to that family, and that's what color they were. So when Edgar came out of Lithuania, he smelled funny, and he wears sweatpants everywhere he goes, and he eats shitty food and smells like vodka, but he's still white. All those other things he can choose. He can't choose the skin color. Now, if Buna comes out of Zimbabwe, he probably smells funny too, probably doesn't wear any pants, and probably, listen, he can choose all those things, but he can't choose the skin color. And you're like, oh my God, I can't. No. I'm saying all the stuff you want to say, and you're scared to say it.
Michael Jackson, he chose his skin color.
Michael Jackson made choices about, and he looked like a freak.
Yeah, he fixed it. He tried to fix his skin color.
He tried to be white, and he turned out looking like Nancy Pelosi. So you can't change that. I can't change that. I got 5 kids. They're all white. You know why? Because I slept with a white woman. She got pregnant. I mean, I can't change that. Do you think my children were born going, shit? I'm white. I can't believe this, Dad.
Thanks a lot.
WTF, man. You made me white? Do you not know that we're in the 21st century? I'm supposed to be black. How am I going to have any street cred?
I'm not woke.
How am I going to be able to mandate anything to the office of the president-elect? I'm white. I'm heterosexual. I identify as a Christian male. I wear a cowboy hat and I sit in a truck with my dog. You made me a bigot. I was born this color. You see how stupid it is? Nobody gives a shit about the skin color. Nobody. But if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. And when you're an asshole, you get treated like an asshole. That's just a fact. I don't care if you're white trash. I don't care if you live down in the ghetto. I don't care if you live in the hood. I don't care if you live in the urban centers. I don't care if you live down in a trailer park. I don't care if you live in a tent out in the woods. I don't care if you are from Africa. I spent 20 years in Africa. I love the people in the nations that I've visited and I've been. There's no place on this planet I haven't been except Antarctica. And the reason I haven't gone there is because there ain't nobody down there. There ain't nobody down there. Except the penguins. They're white and black. Bastards. They don't know who the hell they are.
They're confused.
God. And the black seals eat them. That's a character study. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. This is insanity we're living in. This is insanity. And y'all put a man and a woman in office that did nothing in their career of note except incarcerate black men. And we're going to talk about that in the next segment. We're going to do that. Oh, my Lord. Poor Built Bar. Built Bar's chocolate.
Built Bars are black.
Built Bars are black. But they're good.
They're delicious.
Good, which has nothing to do with the color. None whatsoever. The best tasting protein bar ever. Built Bars, they're covered in chocolate, tastes like a candy bar, 18 amazing flavors. You got the chocolate and nut, you got the chocolate and the non-nut, you got 9 and 9, right? Covered in 100% chocolate. I love them. Soft, easy to chew. Built Bars are healthy. They're great for the health-conscious guy or gal. You can lose or maintain weight while indulging in a delicious treat. Look at this thing right here. That's what I'm talking about. Low calorie, low sugar, high protein, high fiber. I can literally feel the fiber going through me. This is a good one.
Save me some.
Go to BuiltBar.com. Use promo code CHAD. I spell it Chad. You're going to get 20% off your first order. Use promo code Chad. 20% off at BuiltBar.com. We'll be right back. Listen, guys, don't take our tongue-in-cheek facetiousness and miss the point that we're trying to make. Ultimately, I don't care what color your skin is. That's the point. Don't care. Don't care. I love everybody until you're an asshole. And I'm going to treat you that way. That's the big takeaway, Lisa. All right?
Noted.
Noted.
Thank you.
You are lily white. But you know what? I don't hold that against you.
Thank you.
You're not an asshole.
Thank you.
She's lily white, but she's good.
We just lived through a summer of unrest after George Floyd's death and all of that stuff. And BLM, which, by the way, started under Barack Obama. BLM is not a result of Donald Trump. And I want to remind everybody, you know, this summer of defund the police and anti-police rallies, calling them pigs and fascists and the ACAB stuff, anyway, it's horrible, all this stuff. Kamala Harris came out of California. And let me just tell you a little bit. They elected Kamala Harris as their junior senator in 2016. Now, before that, and I've referred to this over and over again, she was the top cop. Her previous year, she was a prosecutor in San Francisco. And you got to remember somebody, just because she's been in the Senate for the last 4 years doesn't overshadow the rest of her career. She served as the district attorney for 7 years in San Francisco and then as California's attorney general for 6 years. Now, during her bid for the presidential nomination, you remember those days back when she was getting zero support? Harris portrayed herself as a, quote, progressive prosecutor. That was the phrase she used. She championed police accountability, but that is just a fanciful recasting of her record. In 13 years as the top cop in California, Harris wasn't a reformer. She was a tough-on-crime prosecutor with close links to the police unions and somebody who stayed on the sidelines during police misconduct cases. So, listen, during those days of defund the police and all that this summer, she was a complete hypocrite because when there was police abuses, she didn't get involved. But she made sure that people were going to jail left and right because it made her look stronger as a prosecutor. If I'm a prosecutor, I want to make sure that I get that person sitting across the aisle from me that's defending themselves. I want them to be guilty because otherwise I lose. In 2006, the California Supreme Court issued what's called the Copley decision, which exacerbated the state's policing problems by shutting public access to disciplinary proceedings. The court relied on a 1978 decision finding, quote, no constitutional right to have access to particular government information or to require openness from their bureaucracy. The media and public no longer could learn about abusive officers. So she actually worked to conceal that information. Now, as San Francisco's DA, she was silent when the California Senate introduced legislation to reopen some of these proceedings, and former State Senator Gloria Romero, the Los Angeles Democrat who authored the bill and now is a member of the editorial board on the Orange County Review, this week she told the New York Times there could not have been a more profound wall of silence than Kamala Harris. It's easy to call yourself progressive today, but I mean, come on, she said. It's easy to reinvent yourself, and that's exactly what she said. Or tried to do during the primaries. So in 2018, the legislature finally passed a similar, albeit limited, version of that open records bill. And the result, well, I'll just tell you, it's been very enlightening because if you look at the long hidden records about officers that are accused of these egregious abuses in California, and even those who patrol those streets but have criminal records, it's crazy to see, Lisa. I mean, it's crazy. And you know what? Kamala Harris was silent about all of that. So you want to talk about bad cops, and there are bad cops out there. We support the police. We defend the police. But, of course, there's bad cops. There's bad surgeons. Somebody put titties on Nancy Pelosi, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop going to the doctor. There's bad sex, but I don't turn any of that down. So, yes, there's bad cops, but that doesn't mean we throw everything out. Listen, Harris was absolutely silent when all of this stuff was going on. And she had nothing to say about any of it. She was the attorney general when the Orange County, quote, snitch scandal gained national attention. Prosecutors and deputies had misused jailhouse informants to gain confessions and violations of inmates' rights to an attorney. And guess what? Harris sided with the district attorney's office as it opened court efforts to remove the department from tainted cases. Her office's investigations went nowhere, and Harris has said in the past that local officials should be the ones who handle these matters. She fought tooth and nail to uphold wrongful convictions that had been secured through official misconduct that included evidence tampering, false testimony, and the suppression of crucial information by prosecutors. And you can look that up. That was said in 2019 in the New York Times in an article by Laura Bazelon about Harris and her record. Listen, she's a dirty cop. She's a dirty cop. She'll do anything to win, and all you got to do is look at this situation of her becoming the vice president. She was willing to do anything. We know she's willing to do anything, and I made the comment the other day about what she did with Willie Brown. She's not a role model for your daughters. People came at me hard. Friends came at me hard. How dare you talk about women like this? No, it is public record that she had an affair with Willie Brown. Now, Willie Brown was estranged from his wife, had been for 10 years, okay? So he was essentially single. That's not the point. I don't care that she had an affair. That doesn't bother me. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't know how many times I got to say this. I don't care who you sleep with. That's between you and your spouse. That's your business. You want to sleep around? Sleep around. Sleep around. Get on your feet and sleep around. Sleep around. Dude, sleep with. That's not my point. Right. People say, well, you think Donald Trump and men and all these people in power, they don't sleep with women? Of course they do. That wasn't my point. She gained position by sleeping with Willie Brown. He appointed her to 2 different positions. Now, that doesn't mean she got elected because of Willie Brown, but she was put in the position to ultimately get electable by having those 2 offices that he put her in. That's my point. She's a dirty person. Dirty person. Well, why does Kamala Harris matter? We didn't vote for Kamala Harris. Yeah, you did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did, because Joe Biden can't put a sentence together. I'm Joe Biden. I'm officer of the president-elect. My son, Beau Biden, who's been dead for 20 years, says hello. It's true, Lisa. I don't know how the man's going out, but he's going out.
Yeah, there's no way he's sticking around for 4 years.
He ain't sticking around for 4 years.
Nope.
He just appointed Ezekiel Emanuel, who's Rahm Emanuel's brother, to be the head of this task force for coronavirus and all this stuff. 2 years ago, Ezekiel Emanuel wrote a story, he's an oncologist, by the way, he's not a virologist, which doesn't take anything away from him, but he said he doesn't want to live past the age of 75. Joe Biden's already 2 years past the age of 75. Ezekiel Emanuel said, I don't want to live past the age of 75 because it becomes a burden on the rest of society. But yet you're going to serve as a health advisor to a guy who's getting elected supposedly at 77? The hypocrisy knows no bounds.
According to him, Biden should be dead. He should be 2 years
in
ground.
He's wasting our time and energy and resources.
Yeah.
It's a waste. Joe Biden's a waste. So you can't make this stuff up, guys. Oh, hey, research found that the average EMS response time is 37 minutes, and in some places even longer. In a medical emergency, time is critical. An arterial bleed can kill somebody in just 90 seconds. That's why I recommend every American have a Bear FAK, a Bear FAK. I love it because we got our FAK pack from Refuge Medical in their home, car, or RV. I keep it in my Jeep, keep it in my truck. It's handmade in America. It's really cool. The Bear FAK comes complete with 28 essential components, including genuine North American Rescue Gen 7 cat tourniquet, emergency trauma dressing, quick clot gauze, nasal airway, hyphen chest seals, and in the event of a gunshot wound, you want to have that around. It's guaranteed for life. The Bear FAK exceeds military specifications for individual first aid kits, and if yours is ever used to save a life, they will replace the used components at no charge. Bear has already saved 12 lives and counting. I want you to go to refugemedical.com. Get 15% off all their first aid kits with the promo code CHAD. I spell it Chad, but only until supplies last. If we've learned anything this year, it's to be prepared for anything. And I love refugemedical.com. Refugemedical.com. Use promo code Chad. Really cool stuff. We'll be right back. Why do all these people come from San Francisco? Why do all these crummy people come from San Francisco? I mean, Willie Brown, he's trash. Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi. 10 years ago, a decade-old anti-truancy program that threatened parents with prosecution if their kids miss school is coming back to haunt Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. Started in 2008 when she was district attorney. Wanted to push parents of chronically truant kids to get them to school. A lot of people on the left they argue it could create another pipeline to the criminal justice system by making jail a punishment for low-level nonviolent missteps. So
when does it become a misstep and it turns into a lifestyle?
Well, okay, in some communities, obviously, it does do that. And I refer back to this BLM letter. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is something that directly affects low-income, impoverished communities, many times the urban community. This is something that would directly affect the black community, proportionally way larger than any other community, especially the white community. So this kind of thing right here is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. She was willing, she wanted to talk about being that little black girl that was on the bus, and Joe, you weren't black. Let me say that again. You weren't black. She doesn't care about the black community. She literally stepped on the black community, finding ways to prosecute. I mean, what you do is, let's say I want to be successful as a district attorney. I want to get as many prosecutions under my belt and as many wins as possible. And I just say, you know what? What community has what are their biggest problems? Well, let's criminalize their biggest problems. They smoke weed, going to prison. You possession of weed, I don't care what amount, you're going to prison. Truancy, missing school, you're going to jail. So I go and I find the people who I know in their community are going to already be virulently guilty of these certain things, and I start prosecuting those things. And then anybody that comes before me, you know what? By God, you're going to lose. And that's what she did. The black community were stepping stones for her success. And I'm sorry, but leopards don't change their spots. If she was that type of an opportunist then, and look at San Francisco. What a shithole.
Yeah.
San Francisco is trash.
Literally.
It's garbage. Any place that has fecal maps so that you don't step in human waste, or you're out there having a coffee and maybe lunch out there in an outside bistro and some guy jerks off his pants and takes a shit right there. You didn't know where I was going with that,
I didn't know what you were going to say.
That happens too, though.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, man. So, there you go. Oh, my God. Why are prosecutors involved in truancy with any of this stuff? Oh, man. See, it sounds so good. We got to get the kids in school. Well, no, you're trying to get everybody in prison.
Well, you know what's so scary too is that she was doing all this before she really got the position if she does get it as vice president. And think of all of this. Now she's going to have so much power. And she's already doing all that shady stuff before she got to this point. Like, God forbid if Biden croaks and she becomes president.
Croaks.
It's going to happen.
I think that she will become president.
Oh, I don't think there's anybody that doubts that there's no way Biden lasts these next 4 years.
If the
like
left is going to gang up on him, they'll run him out one way or the other.
Yeah, I think that's probably
He's
the
not
plan.
going to be progressive enough.
No.
No.
Not going to be progressive enough.
No.
There's no way.
No.
And that's why they ran him, because
Yes.
because he was moderate enough to get elected.
Yep.
And here's the thing, guys, let me just tell you, if you happen to be watching this show, whether you're trolling and you just came in here and you're one of those loony lefties out there, liberal progressives, and I'm not talking about a moderate, I'm talking about you're out there. You're out there. You think AOC makes sense, like she speaks your language. So you had Donald Trump for 4 years. He was a conservative who did things a certain way, but he did them in the nice way. Now, let me explain to you the way history is about to repeat itself. You're going to get your way for these 4 years. Maybe for the next 8 years. Maybe for the next 12 years. But there is coming very soon. Because Donald Trump has now opened the door for a conservative who's going to come in and who is truly going to be right-wing. And guess what? They're not going to do things in such a nice way. And you say, well, are you threatening? No, I'm not threatening. I'm telling you how history goes. I'm telling you how history goes. And it repeats itself, and it's doing it right here 240 years into American history. Every civilization that's been around, this starts to happen about 200 years of its existence. I don't care how great they are. Ask Greece, ask Rome, ask, you name it. Now America.
We're next.
So watch and see. So you can have your little progressive agenda, but don't forget, hard times produce strong men. Strong men produce easy times. Easy times produce weak men, and weak men produce hard times. So get ready. We're in that phase where we got weak men that are about to produce some hard times, and some strong men are coming. So you've heard me say it right here, and I'm always right. That's what's up about it. Give me the timestamp, Mark. Is I'm always freaking right. It's just like I said 3 weeks ago. I said 2 weeks ago. I said Joe Biden's first act, what he's going to do is he's going to start trying to look presidential. So he's going to get out there. He's going to start making his speeches. He's going to get behind some kind of a seal or whatever. I said all that. It's verifiable.
It's smart. Happening. Yep, we've seen it.
And he's doing it.
Yeah.
Office of the president-elect. He's doing it.
Yep.
And I said he's going to start listing all these things off of what he's going to do in his presidency, and he's not going to mention people of color. He hasn't done that. He's mentioned DACA. He's mentioned border crossings and immigration. He's mentioned COVID, mask mandates, and all these people are going, I didn't know he was going to do all that. Holy crap. Well, you know what? James Foreman said this about Kamala Harris. He said the truancy bit remains deeply problematic. She's 100% right that attendance is crucial. Her error, and it's not hers alone, is believing that locking people up or threatening to lock them up is the way to get there. Really, that's going to get kids back in school, lock their parents up. The disaster of American social policy is perfectly captured by Harris's story of the mother who she threatened with prosecution before helping with social services. That's the American way. She's a bitch. What little help we offer poor people comes under threat of prison. But let's flip that. Offer the help straight up. Keep prosecutors out of it. Poor parents don't need the threat of jail to get their kids to school. They need what the wealthy take for granted: good schools, lead-free water, safe parks, healthy food, well-stocked libraries, etc. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Not wrong. Never wrong.
Lisa, when you got pulled over doing 29 miles an hour over the speed limit, you know what they should have done? They should have slapped your white ass in jail because you got lead-free water.
Tougher. It's stuff.
You have privilege, and you took it for granted.
That's right. That's right. My white privilege honestly did not get me out of that ticket, unfortunately.
Coming home
it
from
because you did admit to speeding, and you were like going crazy over it.
But I'm owning it. I'm owning my whiteness.
Own it.
Willie Brown said, I have not only helped the career of Kamala Harris, I've helped the careers of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Governor Gavin Newsom, Senator Dianne Feinstein, and a host of other politicians. Yeah.
Didn't know Gavin went that way.
He said, the difference is that Harris is the only one who, after I helped her, sent word that I would be indicted if I so much as jaywalked while she was DA. That's politics for you.
Yeah.
Willie Brown.
But she's such an inspiration for my daughter to
Yeah.
look up to and know that she can be whatever she wants to be.
He said, I may have influenced her career by appointing her to 2 different state commissions when I was Assembly Speaker. And he said, but I certainly helped her with the first race as the district attorney in San Francisco. Then he went on and talked about all the other people. They all come out of San Francisco. You know what? You ought to have to, your state, the state of your city ought to be a representation of your ability to lead.
Mm-hmm.
It really should.
Well, no, they leave that city and they don't look back.
And it is a shithole.
Yeah.
It is a dump. I went, I go to San Francisco. We used to go every year, go up in the wine country, and always spend a night or two in San Francisco and get out on the bay and that kind of thing. Go look at the whales and go under the Golden Gate Bridge and, go around Alcatraz. And we've done that. And you see the city. It's a beautiful skyline and all that. But then you get into the city.
Yeah.
And damn, walk from the hotel. The last time we were there, they literally had to escort violent people out of the lobby who were losing their minds over some kind of situation that was going on with a reservation in the hotel. And this guy, they literally had to take his ass to jail. I mean, it was bad. And this was a 5-star hotel we were staying in.
And can you imagine now what it's like if you go to visit there?
It's horrible.
I mean, and that was way before.
And we'd walk 6 blocks down to Minute Maid Park where the Giants would play. And you're having to step over homeless people. You're having to step over. I mean, and it's just a shithole of a place.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad deal. Willie Brown took care of it all, though. He pointed them all. Y'all hang tight. Be right back. Two things before we get out of here. One, Friday night, tomorrow night, I want you to go to blazetv.com/Chad. Get on there, use promo code Chad. Going to have my full interview from earlier in the week where I was with, had Alex Jones on. Going to be a special exclusive episode. Going to get his take on this election, which is pretty interesting, actually, and damn well accurate. I love Alex. I do. I don't care what you say about him. I love the dude. And I want you to get it and watch it. That's going to be on Blaze TV exclusively Friday night, same time as normal, 6 p.m. Central. Stacey Abrams, flash that picture of her up real quick. She's show me the Powerpuff Girl, Mark. If you got that, Candace, can you pull that thing up? This is at Stacey Abrams, Georgia. She's a shero now. Talking about she's a political leader, lawyer, activist, author, entrepreneur, all this. So as this whole Biden thing's been going on, they've been really pushing Stacey Abrams to the top. You're like, how is Georgia getting so liberal? How is it getting so liberal? It's becoming a little Hollywood because all of the actors live there. And if they live there long enough, guess what? They can vote there. So if they have a runoff in Georgia, guess what's going to happen?
Yeah.
All these Californians are going to go to Georgia where they film all these movies. And guess what they're going to do? That's why Andrew Yang is moving to Georgia, because they're trying to flip these states. It's the same thing that's going on in Texas. It's happening. And so they're making heroes out of these people who have accomplished nothing, in my opinion. Who the hell is Stacey Abrams? I mean, she still thinks she's governor.
Yeah, they talk about her all the time in the news. And before all this, I didn't really even know who she was.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's the AOC effect. Like, there ain't nothing there.
I know, yeah.
Go to watchchad.com. That's where all the fun stuff is. Follow Lisa Page. Lisa Page made me do it on Instagram, as well as her podcast by the same name. Party Foul Steve, Party Foul Nation on YouTube. And hit subscribe on YouTube. It's been last call. Last call here on the Chad Prather Show.
Sing us
That's
out.
right.
It's
That's
closing time.
Closing time. I love y'all. God bless you. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
That's good.